Beverly Hills, where I'm from. Folks, I'm hearing things on YouTube. People are saying that Trump is going to pardon Diddy if he doesn't get bail. Yeah, people getting thousands of views using the same video that Trump began when he said, yeah, he'll consider it like he will consider everybody else. They use the same video of Trump saying that like it's new news. It's not. Hi, Agent Orange. Thank you for coming, my friend. You know, folks, people come out with such fraudulent crap and they get hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and people believe them. This is the kind of world we live in today. I can be honest with you, I'm tired of it. Okay? And then this article here, okay, from Deadline. All right? It's full of crap that was planted by Diddy's people. That's who put that out there. It didn't come from the White House. Yeah, Ghislaine Maya, I don't think he's going to pardon Maxwell or Diddy. And if he does, his legacy is totally ruined. Yeah, you're correct, Danny. Danny Kelly, thank you. I appreciate you. Island, thank you. Appreciate you all, folks. I just get upset with this bullshit, okay? And people follow these morons who are telling you bullshit. I mean, Christ. I Google, I search all over. I go, how could I miss this? Well, anyways, folks, let's get down to the facts, okay? Number one, this article that everybody saw yesterday, all right, is a bunch of crap. It's not worth the paper it was printed on, okay? Yeah, Trump might consider a lot of people to pardon, all right? Say anything you want about Trump. He doesn't like woman beaters. Megan Kelly came out telling Trump not to pardon him. But yet, people post and they get all these thousands of views, and I can't get shit. Folks, by the way, if you're listening to me, I apologize. I'm upset today, but when I see bullshit, I gotta call it like it is. Okay, let's get down to some good stuff, folks. Okay? A lot of you have been wanting me to talk about gangster stuff. You like that gangster story. I reluctantly don't want to talk a lot about gangster stuff. People I know, Island, thank you. Thank you, Island, for that. Island, I appreciate all my love and respect. Folks, you hit that thanks button. I definitely appreciate that there. All right? From my heart. Okay? I work hard at 80 years old to try to bring good, honest content and facts to you. Okay? So anything you can do to help me, I appreciate that there. Hello, Samantha. Thank you. Folks, in my book, I talk about my dear old friend. There he is, bigger than life. That's Jerry Zimmerman. For those of you who watch Michael Franchese, you will hear Michael Franchese talk about Jerry Zimmerman. There was only one Jerry Zimmerman. They'll never make another one. This guy was, I gotta tell you, he began as a comic in the Catskills. Yeah, a comic. Jerry was a manic depressor. Let me tell you how we met Sonny Franchise. Jerry was a huckster on a street corner in Brooklyn. When one day this guy walks up to him and said, "This is my corner. You can't be selling here unless you're taking care of me." That man was Sonny Franchise. And that's how Jerry ended up meeting Sonny. Jerry was good at all sorts of things. A con man like you can't believe. Torching buildings? Ooh, the guy was an expert at it. All right? He did a few jobs for Sonny back in New York. Yeah, torching fires, the big factories, and different things. Okay? And that was just one of Jerry's many aptitudes. Now, Jerry was with Michael, and Jerry got arrested in Florida when the gasoline tax business came down. Michael told him, "Don't worry, go into court. I'll make sure you got a lawyer there. You'll get bail, this and that." Michael didn't do a damn thing for him. Okay? Jerry walked in, all right, no lawyer. They put the cuffs on him and they arrested him. Papa, words of wisdom, I'm giving it to you, okay? All right. Jerry Zimmerman had a trove of information on Michael and people that Michael informed on. But we're not going to get into that there, okay? But I got to tell you one story. Me and Jerry come up with ideas like you can't imagine. Jerry always operated from a, a warehouse out in Chatsworth, which is also porn country. So we were involved in the porn business too. But one day Jerry says, "You gotta come out here and meet this guy." I go out there. He's an old friend of his, young kid who just got out of prison. And the guy used to be in the baseball memorabilia stuff. And he had a shitload of stuff in a warehouse in New Jersey. So Jerry's telling me all the money we can make with this. So guess who gets elected to fly back to New York and get the stuff and put it on a tractor trailer and get it out to California? Yours truly. I flew in. I got in Newark 6 a.m. in the morning. I went to that warehouse. I busted my ass. Filling that truck. T-shirts, hats, anything I could put my hands on. I'm telling you. How you doing, Elvis? Dovey, thank you. Folks, don't be shy. Subscribe. Hit that like button. Share my stories here. Okay? And hit that thanks button. Okay? I appreciate that there. We got my man from Italy here. So anyways, the plan was that the warehouse was going to go up in flames. We had Jerry's warehouse in Chatsworth from floor to ceiling, packed with this stuff. All insured. We're going to make a nice score, right? When Jerry gets a visit from the fire department chief. And the fire department chief says, "I understand there's going to be a fire here." How they got wind, who knows? But they did. And that ended that thing. And that ended. So we ended up selling that stuff, I don't know, maybe $3,000 we got for it. All right. Made about $1,500 each. Wasn't worth the time it took me to go to New York. But Jerry was a guy that could, people looking for money, wanting to borrow money from the mob. And Jerry knew right away these people were robbing other people for money. So, and they were frauds. So we got money from them. And Jerry always sent me in. He had a story. One time, go out to his warehouse. He got two guys in his office. He's got his lights off in the office with one light on in his desk. And he's got a chair next to him over here behind the desk for me. I sit down. These guys, both of them, they get up, they come, they got on their knees and kiss my ring. I'm looking at Jerry. I go, what the freak is going on here? All right. Jerry set this up. Needless to say, I ended up getting $150,000 from those guys. And Jerry was correct. Okay, we brought Jimmy Conchi, who was the underboss of Los Angeles, on a deal. All right. And when Jimmy got violated on probation, got sent back to prison, the first two guys who were there waiting for him were the two guys who we got 150 grand from because they got like $500,000 from other people. So it's funny how things work out in life. But as you all know, I was close friends with Sonny Franchise right up until he died. Sonny was, people want and always ask me questions about Sonny. But you know, if you go in my history and go before Sonny, you see that I knew Frank Costello, Meyer Lansky, Russell Buffalino, Carlo Marcello, and I'm going to tell you something. Those were real men. Those were real men. All right? Yeah, Sonny was old school. One thing about Sonny, he created a lot of rats. You know, we would meet every morning when in New York, you know, at a diner for breakfast. And after breakfast, Sonny come. You know, you hear anything about these guys, you come to me and tell me. Now, he did that with everybody. You know what he's doing there when he does that? He's asking you to rat on the other guys if you see them doing something. So that's the beginning of trying to get people to become a rat. Of course, I would never say nothing about what the other people were doing. It's not my business to. Okay? Hello, Renee Burke. Decent guy. That location is Frank's. That's Paris. Okay, that painting there. Alright? A lot of people ask me about that painting. Uh, there is a name here. The artist is Antoine Blanchard. And do I know anything about him? No. It's a piece of artwork that a friend of mine gave me many, many years ago, Ron Barrett. And unfortunately, Ron has passed away. Huh? Elvis, no, I don't have an opinion on Joey really. No, I know Joey. We spoken. He's a good guy. Okay. Uh, he was the real deal. No question about it. Uh, but you know, the greatest story was how I robbed the LA City jail of cable boxes. And that's a long, long story. It's all in my book, folks. You can read it in my book if you haven't already. You know? For those of you who haven't got the book, let me read who wrote the blurbs for me on the back. Okay? For nearly 40 years, Orlando Spado was a friend and associate of John Sonny Franchise, underboss of the Colombo organized crime family. His relationship with Sonny brought him to the attention of the FBI, and eventually led to him being indicted with Sonny on federal RICO charges and imprisoned. In The Accidental Gangster, Ori provides a detail of his time in the life and his long battle with the FBI, whose overwhelming resources made it a fight that was impossible to win. Nick Pileggi, author and screenwriter, Casino and Goodfellas. Orlando Spado has been a thorn in the side of the Los Angeles field office of the FBI for almost 2 decades before they finally took him down. Accidentally or not, Ori was the quintessential mob character, complete with a pinky ring and a slow, steady, deliberate voice, whether speaking with friends or foes. But like so many other good fellows, he was set up by a friend's son. You will hear, you will have to read the book to find out who set him up. Enjoy. John Connolly, author, New York Times best-selling true crime book, Filthy Rich. Now, from that, John Connolly, who was a dear friend of mine, who was an investigative reporter for Vanity Fair, all right, Filthy Rich is about Jeffrey Epstein. John was one of the first people to investigate him. 2003, something like that. He was down there when the Palm Beach were investigating him, and then, Acosta, who was the Attorney General for the state of Florida, okay, Keith, I smoke, but I can't smoke here. They don't allow me to. Uh, but John Connolly was a very, very good dear friend of mine. I found two of the victims because my son happened to go to school with him down there in Palm Beach, Florida. So I have a son that lives there. And John ended up writing that book. He passed away a couple of years ago. I still don't know what the real thing was. There was something wrong with his legs. And the doctor said that they had to cut both legs off for him to live. And John was a really tough guy. And he told the doctors to go F himself. And he died within a week after. Um, Very tough. Folks, I'm 80 years old, and most of my friends are dead. All right, people that I knew. Uh, I smoke, Keith. Cigarettes. Yep. I've been smoking since I was 12 years old. I take 3 puffs from a cigarette and I put it out. You can figure that one out. If you're not smoking, you don't smoke. But anyways, folks, there's so many stories that I have, and I'm going to be telling you more. I'll tell you more things about my meetings with Frank Costello, my meetings with Meyer Landscape. I'm going to be coming back and telling you more stories. But you got to remember something. I'm an old timer, and I believe that what happens in the shadows stays in the shadows. And you got to understand, what happens in the shadows stays in the shadows. So, folks, I don't like to talk like these other people, like Sammy, Michael, and all these other people who want to go on YouTube and talk about who they killed, how they killed them, and all that bullshit. You're not going to hear that from me, okay? But I got plenty of stories, and I know an awful lot that will go to my grave with me. Now, smoking's not good for you, folks, okay? Samantha, you had cancer, so you know. But you know what? We're all trying to quit. Maybe together we all could do it, folks, huh? But together, we all can make this world a better place. Listen, nobody knows what Donald Trump's going to do. Will he pardon Diddy or Maxwell? I don't think he will. Okay? Will we ever get those Epstein files and the names of those people that went with him on the island with underage girls and all that there? I don't think we will, folks. You gotta remember, there's over 1,000 girls that are victims. And these girls have gone through pure hell, and they will for the rest of their life. Okay? I don't like men who abuse women. So people ask me, why don't I like Diddy? Okay? I don't like Diddy because he beats women. And I don't care if it's Diddy or John Guido or whatever the name is. Any man that beats a woman is a piece of garbage. Thank you, Sonia. My pleasure, honey. So, folks, I've been taking care of abused women, helping abused women, standing up for abused women all my life. I'm not going to stop. So I wanted to bring that out because you're watching YouTube. I know a lot of you watch other channels. God bless you. I get a lot of my good news from YouTube. Okay, but you could bet your books if Trump said he was going to pardon Diddy, you would have heard it on national news, not by somebody on YouTube first. Okay? So you make a decision. You can figure out who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention their names. Yes, Trump, I think his advisor advising him. Trump has an opportunity here during his 4 years that had one of the best legacies of any president in history. Okay? If he pardons Diddy and he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, he will ruin his reputation. He said he would consider it, like he will consider it pardoning me, which I'm not going to get a pardon. Difference between me and Diddy is Diddy could pay 20, 40, 50 million dollars. Is that enough to entice Trump? Can he buy it? Yeah, he could buy it. Diddy's got the money. I just posted a video. I went to his home again in Homey Hills. I go there. Well, it's the only home he's got this close to me. And you would think he's living there, folks. Everything's being kept up, lawns are manicured. Everything is in perfect condition. Now, Diddy does have something up his sleeve. Now his lawyers are asking for another trial on the 2 counts that he was found guilty of. I think that could be a big mistake on Diddy's lawyer's part because they're opening up a can of worms. You're right, Sonia. God is the real pardon. Okay? But they're opening a new can of worms by wanting a new trial. Because by them doing that they're forcing the government to bring more charges. And I'm sure, okay, that they got more charges they could bring against Diddy. Uh, so, but anyways, they're trying the best they could with what they have. You're right, Elvis. Diddy is garbage. Okay? I don't care what he did in these freak-out parties. Okay? What I care about is how he did it. How he forced people into it. Okay? How he forced women. Kathy Ventura. Once a woman says no, that's no. Okay? That's no. Did she enjoy it at times? Yes, she did. She admitted it. At least she told the truth. Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you. Please subscribe, like, share. And folks, a lot of you don't know how that thanks button works. It's right down there. You can see it. Okay? And anything you can do for me, all right? Keith, we can't be discussing that. That's one of the rules about YouTube. All right? Those are subjects we don't. Yeah, the ex-wife's no longer with us. Tupac Shakur's family is now investigating his murder and what they feel Diddy had to do with it. Now, you got that guy Keefe D, I think his name is, who's sitting in jail in Las Vegas for being the shooter of Tupac. All right, Tupac, all right, they're saying that Diddy paid him $1 million. Now, I'm sure they are investigating that. So I don't think things look good for Diddy. But then again, who knows? I don't have all the answers, folks, but I try to bring you the truth. So I thank you all for coming here today. As usual, all my love and respect to you all. You'll see me tomorrow. I'll be back here with more information for you. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Be safe. Okay? Thank you. Take care.